All right, welcome to another episode of the Smiles Ahead podcast, powered by Burrow, Welshel, and Culp Orthodontics. Today we have one of our fun episodes. It's a community episode where we bring in somebody from the community that makes us smile, and this is no different. Myah from Tiff's Treats, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we were just talking before we got here. This is your first podcast.
Yes.
So we appreciate you stepping out of your comfort zone and coming and chatting with us a little bit and letting our patients and friends know a little bit more about Tiff's Treats and how it makes our community smile, which is pretty obvious in that sense. But why don't you tell us, for those who aren't familiar with Tiff's Treats, what y'all do, what the company's all about, and how you got involved.
Okay. So Tiff's Treats is a cookie delivery company. So you can go on our website or our app, order cookies. We fresh bake to order. We go right to you just like pizza. And it turns out most of our deliveries are gift deliveries. So most of the time people get cookies they don't know they're coming,
That's fun.
which is interesting. But yeah, I always equate it to kind of like an edible arrangement. So like birthdays, like apology gifts, we get condolence cookies, we pretty much happy retirement, any situation you can think of, people just use us to gift cookies. And so Tiff's Treats actually started back in 1999. It's been around for a while, and it's based out of Austin, Texas.
Okay.
There is a Tiff.
That's what I was going to ask. So there is a Tiffany.
There is a Tiff. Her and her husband, they started it out of a college dorm room back in Austin, Texas in 99. And it's kind of grown from there into like food trucks, and we're up to about 90 locations now.
Oh, wow. Okay. And how long has it been in Charlotte?
So it's been in Charlotte, I believe, since 2017, 2018. We're up to 3 locations now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with the one in South Park, but I knew there was a couple more around here.
Waverly, down near Ballantyne, is our first location. We have one in Uptown, right off of East Brooklyn Village Ave, and then the one in South Park, which is actually where I started.
Okay, cool. I knew that y'all had fresh baked cookies, but I knew the delivery seems to be a big part of it, where it makes it super easy for people. The apology thing, I probably need to remember that one. People answer for apologies. Sometimes I got to apologize a lot. But tell us a little bit about the process on, and just disclosure to the audience, Burrow, Welshel, Culp Orthodontics, Charlotte Pediatric Dentistry. As a company, we use y'all a lot for the same things you're saying. Gifting, for our patients, for maybe colleagues that we need to thank and that type of stuff. But I also personally enjoy them as well. It seems like even though they are delivery and you're taking them everywhere, they always had to seem some freshness. Or how do y'all keep that consistency? And just tell us a little bit about that process. When you order them, how they're delivered, when they're delivered, how fast it is, that type of stuff.
So it's a pretty tedious process that I think has been fine-tuned over multiple years and kind of thing. So I was lucky to come in where they had it down pat. But turnaround time is pretty quick. If you're doing a pickup order, you can get it as soon as 35 minutes from the time you place it.
Oh, wow. So it is like pizza.
Yeah.
You were saying before. Okay.
It's very fresh baked to order. Cookies, brownies. We also have frosting, ice cream, truffles. They're expanding new stuff every day. We just dropped orange dreamsicle cookie yesterday.
Oh, nice.
So we'll see how that does.
Yeah. Is there what's the craziest flavor you've come across, or people have been like, oh my God, y'all have that flavor?
They always, because we have flavors of the month, so they're always trying new stuff out. It's something different every time I turn around. Orange dreamsicle's new. We've never had it before.
Okay.
So that's been interesting to try to learn. And like I said, it just dropped yesterday, so we'll see how it does. But we have definitely crowd favorites. I'm personally waiting on the return of blueberry muffin.
Okay. I was going to say, what's your favorite blueberry muffin?
Blueberry muffin, banana nut are probably among my favorite of our flavors of the month. But we do red velvet. We have lemon sugar, pumpkin spice.
I was going to say, there's got to be some seasonal. You got to do the pumpkin this time of year. Is there any Christmas things coming up? Or?
We don't know. We get told what our flavors of the month are going to be pretty much a month out. So we should be, as employees, learning about what's going to be our December flavors pretty soon.
Cool.
But yeah, they do all kinds of seasonal things. Valentine's will have a heart-shaped sprinkle cookie, and 4th of July, we have like red, white, and blue stars and all this stuff. So they're definitely like timed in theme for what's going on.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, and I assume, with the holiday season coming up, does it ramp up like crazy? Are you looking like November 1st hits and you're like, all right, here we go? Is it that type of seasonal type transition?
Oh, yeah. And each location, like even in Charlotte, is very, very different. So I've only been at our Uptown location for about a week and a half.
Okay.
I just officially transferred up there. But like it's a lot of businesses, a lot of offices, like all of it's pretty much office space. So I'm already looking at December 12th. And I have like this order for like 48 dozen cookies.
Oh, wow.
120 brownies. Like they're just crazy large orders. So I think it's going to be very interesting. But Uptown's one of those places, like once November 1st hits, it doesn't die down until after Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
So this is like our busiest part of the year pretty much outside of Mother's Day.
Oh, okay. Some of the holidays hits, but this whole season is.
This whole season's going to be pretty crazy. So it's interesting.
Yeah. So you'd mentioned these big orders of all these cookies, but what if somebody say they want like, what's like the smallest delivery versus, you said the quick 35-minute deliveries. Is there anything where you could get like a dozen, half a dozen?
Oh yeah, for sure. There's definitely a level of like personal consumption that we're trying to tap into. Cause like I said, most of our deliveries are gifts. So we trying to tap into more of that market for people who are just like, man, I just want a couple of cookies for myself. So as far as like deliveries and like placing fresh baked orders, there is a order minimum of a half dozen. So 6 is the fewest you can get. And so like not only do we have like our website and our app, but at the beginning of this year, we put ourselves on like third parties. So like DoorDash and Uber Eats and Postmates and stuff. So we're also available there.
It's very convenient.
Yeah.
Now, if half dozen, that's a small amount, but say somebody, the audience is listening to this and like, man, I want to test out one of those Tiff Treat cookies. Can they come right to the storefront and be like, hey, can I get a chocolate chip cookie? Or
yeah.
Y'all have them?
Yeah. All of our locations have like a front case. There's no guarantees on like quantity and everything, but like we bake all of our flavors throughout the day as needed. But yeah, anybody can stop in and just buy like one cookie if they want.
Now, what's the process on, so say I ordered a dozen and they're going to be delivered pretty quickly. Are those baked like in the morning? Are those baked pretty much like throughout the day, like you were saying? So, because whenever I've had them, they've come and they've been like, they felt like they were pretty fresh.
Yeah. So like once you place your order, I would say maybe anywhere between 45 minutes beforehand is when we throw your order in the oven.
Okay.
So like everything is still hot. Like when you get it is like warm cookie delivery is like kind of like their slogan.
So, okay. Yeah.
So that's one of their things. So we want to make sure that we keep them as hot as possible for as long as we can without like compromising quality of cookie. So fresh bake your delivery and then get it to you as quickly as we can. And then as far as like pickups, about 30 minutes from the time you place it is when we place your order in the oven. So that when you get there, it's still hot.
That's awesome. So we talked a little bit about there actually is a Tiff, and it started in Texas. The origin story of the growth and anything. Did she think about this as being a cookie delivery service, or was she more like, hey, I just started in a food truck and then had a storefront, and then now with people in convenience, we're looking at it as an orthodontic company. Everybody wants convenience. They want it now. They want to do it. So we've kind of moved to you can come in, get your consult the same day, get your pictures, get your braces on, like everything all at one time. Was this something that evolved into delivery, or did Tiff kind of from the beginning say, I'm going to make cookies and bring them to people?
So the way it started was actually her husband, Leon. He'd been into her for a while, and he'd been asking her out, and she was like, no. And then she finally said yes, and she accidentally stood him up. And so she baked him cookies as an apology.
Oh, the apology cookies, that comes in.
And she delivered them to him, and they were still hot when she got there. And so he thought that was so great, and he was just like, what if we did cookie deliveries? And so like it's kind of always been cookie delivery from the jump.
Okay, that's cool.
Just based off of that moment. So
they were ahead of the curve, kind of.
Yeah, pretty much. They didn't realize it at the time.
Yeah, right. Sometimes that's how it goes,
But yeah, so whenever people come in and they're like, "Oh, like you guys are hopping on the crumble and insomnia train and stuff like that," it's just like, well, this has been around since '99.
Right,
so
right.
I think we're relatively unknown still in Charlotte and North Carolina as a general sense, but I was like, yeah, it's been around for a while.
And to differentiate y'all from maybe those two that you mentioned, I have seen like y'all's actual delivery vans. So y'all are more equipped where, maybe Crumble might be on DoorDash, but y'all have the ability to do DoorDash and your own personal store delivery, which makes it a little bit more customizable.
Yeah. So we have like delivery drivers, like that's what they're employed to do, is to take orders. So like, even though we do use DoorDash and things like that, the majority of our orders that we're still getting are still like in-house off of like our drivers are taking them. So they're trained to do deliveries, and like one of the things that we like prioritize is like making things as personal as possible. So like not just dropping it and leaving it on your front porch for you to find hours later, or like, anything like that. Like we try to get it in your hand, and if it's for a birthday, we're like, hey, by the way, happy birthday. Or,
oh, that's cool.
Like we get crazy instructions from like from people. Like I delivered to a woman's husband's work, and it was his birthday, and they play pranks on each other. So she requested that I read the embarrassing gift message out loud in front of other people. Kind of thing. So like situations like that, like just trying to fulfill a moment. Yeah, is kind of what we focus on.
Oh, that's super special. That's something to keep in mind, because, like I said to the audience, we personally use them, and y'all have done an awesome job for us. So I love the fact that you can go from one cookie storefront to 6 if you want to just have a few friends that want to taste them, up to, would you say 35 dozen or what? 48 dozen. Man, that's somebody is gonna consume a lot of cookies or has a big group or something. Now I have to ask, working there, how is consuming your own product? Like, how is staying away from the cookies? Because I mean, has it gotten easier? I assume at the beginning, like if I worked there today, there's no way that I wouldn't eat like 5 cookies.
There's definitely a freshman 15 that comes with this job for sure. And it's super easy too.
Right.
You didn't bring breakfast, and you're like, oh, that oatmeal raisin cookie is looking kind of good.
Yeah.
But we as employees, we get an absurd amount of free cookies each week. And then at the end of the day, to like help eliminate waste and stuff, people take them home. They take them for literally anything. So my family is like, they're good. After 3 years, they're like, we're good on cookies for a while. We have to take a break, but
show up to every event, like, hey, I got some cookies. They're like, oh my god.
Yeah, I've stopped baking for like holidays and stuff altogether. You guys are just gonna get cookies.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they enjoy them. If we love to have them no matter when. Now I have to ask too, is what's the most popular? I know y'all have some crazy outlier flavors, but is it still the staples like the chocolate chip and the oatmeal raisin, or
chocolate chip, Snickerdoodle, and M&M probably sell the best.
Yeah, I forgot about Snickerdoodle. Yeah.
People come in all the time and they're like, "What's your most popular cookie?" I'm like, the OG cookie, chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip.
Sure.
Yeah. For sure. That's my favorite. When you break into those, it's always kind of just enough melty, but not too soft.
It's classic.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, I don't want to keep you too long. I know y'all have a busy day, but we appreciate you coming in so much. And for the audience, what's the best way to get in touch with Tiff's Cookies or Tiff's Treats in terms of maybe holidays, or I know you said you have a website, you have an app too? Okay.
Yep. So we have a Tiff's Treats app. You can order delivery straight off of it. Our website is www.cookiedelivery.com.
Oh, that's cool.
Simple.
Yeah, they got that one early, it seems like. Yeah.
Super simple.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, you can find us on DoorDash, Uber Eats, Postmates, all that kind of stuff. So we're pretty accessible.
Cool. Well, I'm sure we'll be using you a lot during the holidays. We'll just be encouraging people to brush their teeth after those nice chocolate chip cookies. But Myah, thanks so much for coming on, and you have a wonderful day.
Thank you, too.
All right, guys, until next time, we will see you then. Thanks for listening to the Smiles Ahead podcast, powered by Burrow, Welchel, and Culp Orthodontics. Be sure to leave a rating, hit that subscribe button, and if you have more questions, you can reach out to me directly at sam@bwcortho.com. That's sam@bwcortho.com. You can also visit our website, bwcortho.com, and we will be happy to answer any questions you might have.